Hi, everybody. I forgot what we're here for anyway.
Day of the Devs pre-show.
And welcome to the Day of the Devs pre-show. I'm Tim Schafer, this is Greg Rice, and we're here to show you some of the games that you'll be able to see at the amazing event happening this Saturday in San Francisco called Day of the Devs. Greg, what is Day of the Devs?
It is a celebration of video games and culture and art here in San Francisco. This is our 5th time doing it, believe it or not.
And what do we do there? We show...
Lots of games. We'll have over 70 games playable at the show. We'll have 5 musicians. We'll have a bunch of local San Francisco food trucks, alcohol, there's children, everything.
Surely this must cost $1 million to attend.
This is actually a free event, so it's free for all, open to all. If you'd like to get in early and are scared of crowds, there's a Humble Bundle live right now, so you can get an early access VIP pass through that.
Nice. Okay, there's so much to see at Day of the Devs, 70 games. I don't know how you're going to see it all, but you can try. And we're going to give you a preview of some of the games that you'll be able to see and some of the developers right now.
It's true. The very first person on this list is someone who's very highly anticipated. This is actually the first time they're showing this game, so we have a worldwide exclusive debut here with Untitled Goose Game. You might have seen this online. It went around on Twitter the other day, caught everybody's eyes, inclling ours, and we're very excited to show it.
I loved it the second I saw it.
Cool. So we're House. We're a 4-person team from Melbourne, Australia. The last project we worked, the game we got together to work on is Push Me Pull You, which released last year.
It's a 4-player wrestling game.
Yeah. That's the best way to describe it. And now we're working on an Untitled Goose Game.
It's a game where you're a goose.
Yeah, you get to really do all the normal stuff that you would do as a goose, I guess.
Steal the farmer's hat and maybe his keys as well.
Yeah.
Create a mess.
It's more like this weird cultural phenomenon where everyone just agrees that geese are these kind of weird, horrible creatures who are just menacing and terrible. I don't know if any of us have had any explicit run-ins, but we're drawing from a shared cultural pool.
It's not like they're scary. In the way that a tiger is, but they are actually very frightening in their own unique way.
Yeah, in a really psychological way.
Yeah, they're somehow very malicious, even though they probably can't actually hurt you. The thing that we're showing at Day of the Devs is the goose in the park where they live, I presume, and they break into a garden and hassle a groundskeeper who's working in the garden. Yeah, you kind of torment this poor person just going around their job.
Yeah, we think it's much funnier to disturb someone who's trying to get stuff done rather than just anyone on the street.
And it's a bit of a taste of what we want to do in the future with the Goose Game too.
Yeah. We're coyly saying at some point next year it's going to come out, but I don't think we're going to say much more than that just yet.
Yeah, as long as it's before December 31st, 2018, we'll be happy.
Yeah, that'll be great.
We've got another one here from an Australian developer. I don't know how we ended up with so many Australian games, but it's nice to see this worldwide development scene.
That's a long flight.
It is a very long flight. I think you travel through time multiple times or something. But this is Dead Static Drive. It's another one we've been seeing all over social media, and it looks beautiful and amazing.
The one with the cool car.
Cool cars. Always works. Cthulhu monsters.
Hi, I'm Mike Blackney. Previously, I've worked on a game called Antichamber. And at the moment, I'm working on Dead Static Drive. It's Grand Theft Cthulhu, is how I sum it up. So you're driving through an open world. There's survival elements where you need to try and find items to keep yourself alive, but everything's themed around a road trip. So you need to pee. You need to drink water. You need to sleep in a motel. But there are plenty of reasons why you might not want to stay somewhere, so you can also drink coffee and keep on the road. And you can find hostile enemies all throughout the world. There's survivors to meet, and eventually it'll blossom out into an adventure. But that's kind of the fun of finding out. There's a lot of interactives in the world as well. I want to make it feel like I'm really inspired by Metal Gear Solid, so I want the game world to feel like it's rich. You know, if you run into a power pole, you can knock it over, and that'll take out the power for the town. I I want you to feel like you're finding all these little things about the game as you play that you just wouldn't have considered to start with. I kind of consider it to be like an anti-roguelike. Like, it's replayable, but all of the rules are completely different for the way it's replayable. There's no permadeath. In fact, at the moment, there's no death at all. You can't die. If you die, you recover in a hospital, but it's further into the game, and so you miss out opportunities to do things that you might otherwise have done. If someone likes the sound of a game with like Americana, driving, and monsters, like, I want them to be able to play it.
CHUCHEL may or may not be the name of our next game. It's a Czech word that probably is pronounced CHUCHEL. I don't want to murder it. It's from one of my favorite developers, Amanita, the developer of Machinarium.
Samarost.
Yeah, some of the best games. Beautiful. All of them are beautiful, and this one looks super crazy and cool.
It is, and it seems very child-friendly. So we're excited about this year. We're doing a new thing, which is that we have kind of a child-friendly room. The whole event is very child-friendly, but this is specifically a very child-friendly room.
All the games that like would especially appeal to kids in one place.
Yes, and especially interesting new thing this year is we will have childcare. So if you have kids out there, you'd like to come to the event, we have that taken care of. So bring them along. Sign up early.
So I am Lucas from Amanita Design, the Czech studio from Prague, who were responsible for the successful adventure games such as Machinarium, Samaros 3, 2, and Botanicula, and now we are hard at work finishing our next project, CHUCHEL, the project of Jara Plachy, the lead designer of Botanicula, and we are really excited to be able to show the game at the Day of the Devs in November, and it's actually a project of, I believe, 8 people at the moment, including all the musicians and everybody involved in the project. It's very different from the first title, I believe. The main difference is in the backgrounds. In the previous games, especially Samarost, the backgrounds were incredibly detailed, you know. Somebody could almost get lost in these backgrounds, and that's what we wanted to avoid with CHUCHEL, which has a slightly different focus, you know. This time we're not focusing on difficult or overly complex puzzles, but on the humor and the fun and the actions of the main character and his interactions with the other characters. Well, actually, it's a different team than the Samaros team. You know, we've got a couple of separate teams here in Amanita. So this is the team of Jara Plachy, who worked on Botanicula. So you might see some visual, similarities between these two games. The demo we finished actually 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago is 60% of the game, 60% of the levels, including all the music, sounds. There's pretty much everything, but otherwise it should be a good representation of what the final product is going to be. There are some really funny gags and sketches and some hilarious moments. And puzzles, as well as some mini games based on classic video games such as Space Invaders, Pac-Man, or Tetris. More like a parody of these games, maybe, just a fun take on those old games, kind of making fun of pretty much everything. So this is a part of the fun making. Yeah, so the scheduled release date at the moment, or the release window, is early 2018, probably late January or early February, and we're going to release CHUCHEL for PC, Mac, iOS, and Android.
Q Games, the creator of awesome games like the Tomorrow Children and all the Pixel Junk masterpieces, are coming to show Eden Obscura, their new game.
Yes, we love those Pixel Junk games. We love Bion as well. So Bion came and played last year a DJ set. He'll be back now playing music from Eden Obscura, the new mobile version of Pixel Junk Eden.
Oh man, I can't wait to see this.
I'm Dylan Cuthbert and I run Q Games, and we've been running now for 16 years.
I'm Bion. I'm creative producer of Q Games, and I'm working for several projects, including Eden Obscura, which we're gonna exhibit at the Day of the Devs for this time.
Eden Obscura is a game that combines sort of the visual aesthetics of Bion's life with the original Eden game. And the original Eden game also had a lot of aesthetics, but this one has a lot more use of the camera, and it's kind of an interesting window into Bion's soul. It's a pretty innovative game. We just won the Innovative Award at Busan in Korea because it's using your phone in a way that hasn't been used before in a game, so I think that makes it pretty interesting to check out. We chose to go mobile because it's it's really the only platform that lets us use the camera in this way, I think. So the camera's pointing, away from you and brings in images from beyond the phone to the screen in front of you.
There was a great party, and we really enjoyed it last year. And I can't wait to see people enjoy the Obscura that they were there. Yeah. Hope you enjoy it.
Now, who is Humble Grove and what is 29 and how did you meet these people?
Yeah, well, this is a developer I had not met before, but I met their artist at Bit Summit in Japan. They're kind of a distributed team, but they're working on a game that is kind of a Kentucky Route Zero-like adventure game. It looks very beautiful.
Neat.
My name is Hannah Lee.
I'm Tom Davidson.
And we are Humble Grove. We are a very small, at the moment we are a 5-people team. And we are mainly based in the UK, but I'm based in Tokyo. We also have another person based in the US, so we're a bit worldwide.
I've worked on a couple of small games that I've just put up on itch, but this is our first commercial game.
Yes, we do have a small prequel-esque game that runs for about 5 minutes, which is called Ferrari Road.
29 is a point-and-click adventure. It's semi-autobiographic about 2 characters based on Hannah and myself, and it's set just after these 2 characters graduate university and they're preparing to move out of their flat. And it kind of deals with those feelings of not knowing where to go next.
Well, it kicked off as an idea that Tom had about a game, and they were planning on doing a very, very small point-and-click adventure game that was based off a single room, but that sort of started to grow a bit, and we started to focus on our whole flat, and now it's focusing more on environments that we're familiar with, or environments that have possibly changed us, or places that we like.
Yeah, it's quite a text-heavy game. So as you're exploring the flat, you can find these objects, and they can trigger these monologues that go on in the characters' heads. You navigate these multiple choice branching dialogues that kind of give you a bit more insight into what the characters are feeling. So throughout the game, the flat kind of changes in a lot of subtle ways that. It gives you the feeling this is a place where someone's living. That's our intention anyway. I think also we've found that a lot of people quite enjoy the mystery of it. We try not to explain it too much, just let people go ahead and play it and see what they think. And it seems that that tends to intrigue people quite a lot.
Next we have Clay Entertainment, makers of Mark of the Ninja and Don't Starve, of course. And what are they going to be showing here?
They're actually going to show 2 games. So we have Griftlands, which kind of caught our eye at E3 with a big trailer last year, and then Hot Lava, everybody's imaginary floor is lava game.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously inspired by Don't Fun Happy Action Theater.
Definitely.
But a great follow-up to that game. Great rip-off of our game. Don't use that part.
And every playground.
And every childhood.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Kevin Forbes. I work at Clay Entertainment here in Vancouver, Canada. I'm working on a game called Griftlands, which is a pirate sandbox mercenary RPG set in an alien world. I worked on Don't Starve previously, and it was a sandbox game, but it's a sandbox survival game, and we tried to do some kind of counterintuitive things and not follow the rules of the genre. So same thing with this one. In Griftlands, you don't play as a hero out to save the world. You're just in it to make some money. The game that I was looking at and trying to capture the spirit of was actually Sid Meier's Pirates back in the day. Kind of foundational game for my childhood kind of thing. It's really about emergent narrative kind of coming out of your interactions with dynamically generated NPCs and kind of manipulating factions and situations to your advantage as you move throughout the world. It's pretty important to me that it's not a kind of traditional power curve narrative. You need to have setbacks, and the setbacks should be unique to your story because, you fought some guards in the beginning and you won, but you ended up killing one of the guys, and because every NPC in the world actually has relationships and opinions and personality traits that his friend has sworn blood vengeance against you, and like an hour later they send assassins after you, and that doesn't happen for anybody else. It happens for you because you took an extra shot to win a fight early in the game. So it's all about like unintended consequences and kind of crazy situations that can and emergent storytelling that can occur because of that.
Hey, and I'm Mark LaPrairie. I'm a developer on Hot Lava. On the surface, Hot Lava is this game about taking your childhood, playing the floor is lava and taking it way too seriously. But at the core of this game is really about these jump maps that have existed in Counter-Strike, in Quake, in Team Fortress, and in a number of games. They've always been these sort of mods and these subcultures based around the quirks with the mechanics of the player controller. And the whole idea behind Hot Lava was, what if we took all those glitches that people have been making games out of and treat them as features and try to wrap them around with some UI and some nice presentation to allow players to actually explore that content. The whole idea was, let's try to make a game just about moving. Not about, there's no bad guys to fight. It's not like in Mirror's Edge when you fight some dudes. This is just really like figuring out how to move through this space and how to get there efficiently and have fun while doing it.
Now, Minit is a game that's made by kind of a Voltron of indie developers, right? Like a supergroup.
Supergroup.
Like the Traveling Wilburys. Look it up.
Hey there, my name is Kitty Kalis and I'm working on a game called Minit, together with Dominique Johan, Yukio Kallio, and Jamil Nijman.
We've all worked on different games before, like Horizon Zero Dawn, Nuclear Throne, Ridiculous Fishing, and Accounting VR.
Minit is a one-minute adventure where you die every 60 seconds. In this game, you explore a lively world, meet strange characters, solve ancient puzzles, and die just after 1 minute.
And when you die, you'll be sent right back to the start. But any items you find you can keep, so your next minute will allow you to explore new areas and inch closer to lifting your mysterious curse. Minit opens up more and more as you progress. There's no filler. It's almost like a condensed Metroidvania. We really want every screen to be full of little hidden details and secrets.
Okay, now Crossing Souls hasn't been seen much. It's also from Devolver, and the developer is from Spain?
They are. Yeah, it's actually what I've been asking for a few years, so I'm excited that Devolver is finally letting us show it.
Yeah, exciting.
Hi everybody, I'm Juan Diego from Forachic, and I'm going to show you what is Crossing Souls. We are a small team composed by 5 members and located in Seville, in the south of Spain. This is our very first game, and for it we wanted to recover the nostalgia and feeling from the 80s. The game is an 80s adventure that will remind you of films like The Goonies, E.T. or Stand By Me, and it is set in 1986 in California. The plot is about a group of friends who discover a mysterious stone that allows them to travel between 2 realms, the dead and the living ones. The gang will lead the summer of their lives in an adventure that will get them involved in a government conspiracy developed by an old mayor who is using the power of the stone to create an army of ghosts and conquer the world. Crossing Souls is an action-adventure game where you will control 5 characters, each one with their own abilities and fighting styles. The player will have to combine them wisely to overcome the puzzles, enemies, and bosses that they will find along the adventure. The stone will give them the ability of see and interact with another realm full of ghosts, and they will have to learn how to use it to beat the mayor and save the families and the world. The demo you will play is just the beginning of the game, and you will control Chris, the main character of the story, at the start of his summer holidays. The gang will have to leave their town behind and start a journey, which will get them through very different and interesting levels, with the goal of beating the mayor and save their families and the world. We hope you enjoy Crossing Souls and can feel the magic of the 80s again.
Ooh, we got a new Derek Yu game.
It's true, our first San Francisco local developer.
Go home team.
Yes, it's very exciting. It's actually 50 games.
What? Does that count as there's 70 games at the show, 20 games plus this one?
I guess we have over 100 if you count them.
No, we have 20 unique games. This one is also a unique game, and it's 50 games in one.
It is.
Is that more confusing?
I'm Derek Yu of Mossmouth, and I'm based in San Francisco, but I'm working with a team of 4 other indie developers who are spread out across the world.
What have you guys done before?
I am the creator of Spelunky. Eric Circa, who's also working on UFO 50, was the musician for Spelunky. And John Perry is an old friend of mine. We go way back, and we made a game called Eternal Daughter when we were teenagers, which was a freeware game. And Ojiro Fumoto, who's also on the team, created a game called Downwell. And then Paul Hubens, the fifth final, but definitely not least member of the team, made a game called Madhouse.
And what's UFO 50?
UFO 50 is a collection of 50 games in one. So the story is that these games were made by a fictional company in the 80s for a fictional game console that was lost to time, so this is the first time that people are going to really get to play this. These are not mini games, these are full games. They're just small. They span a variety of genres, so we've got platformers, we've got shoot 'em ups, puzzle games, adventure games, but each game has a twist to it. So there's something new about each game that hasn't been done exactly that way before, so they should feel fresh. Even though the aesthetic is retro and we're taking a lot of care to make sure that it feels authentic, we're applying modern game design to making these games to make sure that they play well and feel good.
Can you give some examples of maybe a couple standout games?
We've got a game called Pin Golf that's sort of a mashup of golf and pachinko, but you know, there are all kinds of interesting obstacles along the way. We have another game called Tactics. Every few seconds, a timer will count down, and then these little soldiers will move towards each other. So at Day of the Devs, we're gonna have at least around 35 of the games playable. And so that should, I think, give people a really good sampling of what the collection's gonna be like. Each game, I think, could stand on its own as a small game for sure, but part of the fun of this is jumping in and out, trying different games. It's kind of like when you go to a friend's house and they've got their game collection and they've got all these games that you've never played before. And you just, you know, pick a cartridge out, pop it in, you and your friend play for a bit, and then when you get tired of it or you want to try something new, you do that.
Now, Wargroove comes from Chucklefish. Chucklefish, that name sounds familiar.
Publishers of Stardew Valley.
Ah.
Yes, this one looks very exciting.
Chucklefish.
Hey, I'm Molly and I work at Chucklefish. We are a London-based studio. We're about 17 people big. We develop cool games like Starbound, and we publish games like Stardew Valley, Risk of Rain, and The Siege in the Sandbox. We're bringing Wargroove to Day of the Devs. It's a turn-based strategy game for up to 4 players. It takes inspiration from sort of old-school handheld classics like Advance Wars and Final Fantasy Tactics. We're sort of aiming to recreate the accessibility and charm of those games while taking advantage of modern technology. So Wargroove's got really great stuff in it, like local and online multiplayer, modding capabilities, map and campaign editors, and the ability to share your maps and campaigns with other players. We're developing Wargroove because we wanted to play a game like Wargroove ourselves, and we couldn't find one. And so we then remembered that we were game developers and that we could just make it. Wargroove's campaign editor is one of its most unique and kind of interesting features. When paired with the modding capabilities, there are sort of unlimited possibilities there. You could go and create your own characters, you could write your own script, create your own maps, and then completely make a whole story on your own, and then share that with your friends. At Day of the Devs, you can check out Wargroove on PC, you can check out some of the demo maps that we've set up, you can play against another player, 2v2, so go and check that out on the show floor. Thank you.
Holy cow, Ni no Kuni 2, the first game was beautiful. I love that game.
Yeah, it's a huge game.
Yeah, and they're making another one.
They are. It's very exciting. Our friends at Namco hooked us up with this, and it is a Studio Ghibli-inspired game being developed in Japan.
Hey, my name's Stephen Akana, and I'm brand manager on Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom. It's coming out on January 19th, 2018 for PlayStation 4 and PC digital via Steam. Ni no Kuni 2, even though it is the sequel to the original Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch, it's almost like you want to think of Level 5 has taken the world and they're using it as their sandbox or their toy box. It's based around a coming-of-age tale of a young boy king who's basically on a journey to discover his own worth and be able to build a kingdom for himself. The thing that's cool about Ni no Kuni is that you can be totally new to the IP altogether, and you can jump in and you can enjoy it without having to play the first one. In the first Ni no Kuni, the action sequences or the battle sequences, they were kind of a hybrid of turn-based with real-time elements. And in this one, it's 100% real-time. You can mission out with up to 2 other party members, and you can switch between them on the fly. There's really cool world sprites. They're called Higgledies, and they're almost like your 4th passive party member. And throughout the game, they'll assist you with battles, with puzzles. Team really looked at what are the trends for RPGs in Japan and what are the trends for RPGs in the West, and they're trying to find that kind of middle ground to really create a RPG that has sensibilities that really speaks to a global audience. It's always a challenge. Like, they always want to challenge themselves. Like, it's something really special. Oh yeah, Ni no Kuni 2 is going to be coming out on PlayStation 4 and PC Digital via Steam on January 19th, 2018.
This next game is a bowl of soup.
Yeah.
Called Nour or Nour.
I don't know how to say it.
The soupy game.
Nour. We'll say Nour. We saw this on Kickstarter. It had a very successful Kickstarter recently and caught wind of it at Indiecade. It's a beautiful game about food, and it felt like it was too perfect to not put it right next to the food trucks.
Oh man, I'm getting hungry right now.
What's up? I'm TJ Hughes. I run Terrifying Jellyfish. I'm making this crazy food art game called Nour. I worked on a game called Smugglecraft for PC and PS4, along with Happy Badger Studios. That was a hovercraft racing game with branching narrative and procedural generation. Yeah, so Nour is a game about playing with your food and just celebrating the aesthetics and the amazing experience that is eating good food. You mash buttons in order to just mess with your food in interesting and bizarre ways. There's just a huge combination of things you can do to just mess with your food in front of you. It's just a fun food physics playground. Bubble tea, popcorn, toasters, a meat grinder was recently added to the game, just all sorts of stuff. At first, you may cautiously press a button just to see what happens. You're like, oh, hey, what's gonna happen here? Maybe just a noodle falls down. But then you'll slowly realize, oh, hey, I can just mash buttons at will and do anything. There's no wrong way to play this game. It's just like playing with your food. There's no wrong way to do that either. So just have a ball, have fun. When you're in the meat grinder scene, try to get the hoverboard into the meat grinder. Now, out of context, that might sound so strange, but definitely try for that. You'll be surprised at what you can do and what things this magical meat grinder can grind.
Small talk. What is that?
It's never been shown either. Another exclusive reveal here. So we met this developer at Fantastic Fest in Austin, and she's an animator, illustrator, doing a beautiful new game.
Oh, cool.
It's about talking breakfast.
The breakfast talks?
A lot of food games.
All right, yeah. Lots of food games.
My name is Gabrielle Genevieve, and I'm with Pale Room, and we're out of Austin, Texas. And we are a team of 3 people. Emily Mayo does audio, Chris Chapelier does the programming, and I do the art, and our game is Small Talk. And so Small Talk is an interactive narrative game that takes place at a party at the end of the world, and it features these kind of surreal characters in a hybrid 2D, 3D environment. Everything is hand-drawn and hand-animated. Throughout the game, it touches on themes of connection, like loss, loneliness, and a variety of vignettes. Throughout the game, the player is able to actually walk around this open world and explore and mingle with these party guests and talk to them and get to know their personality and their quirks and stuff. Some of them, they'll open up to you, and you're actually able to transport into their minds and kind of see what they're really thinking about and what they're really kind of what's really bothering them, or just what they're, I don't know, what they're just kind of inquisitive about, I guess. So yeah, that's our game.
Oh, we have a VR game.
We do. We have a few. Actually, we've had VR for a few years here, all the way back to Tilt Brush many years ago.
We're the first people to show that Tilt Brush thing.
I believe we were.
Maybe. Yeah, I think, let's say we were.
So this is a new one that I think is also showing for the first time, and they're also a local San Francisco developer. And it was actually through our open submission process. We saw this one and had never heard of it, and it looks amazing.
What's it called?
The Rig.
Hello, I'm Abe Diekman. I'm a filmmaker and animator. I work with Sunset Division here in San Francisco. We are a varied group of scrappy game makers. There's only 4 of us. We have a chemical software engineer. We have an entrepreneur. We have a veteran game designer, and me. And we are making The Rig, which we're very excited about. We've only been working on it for a year now, but it's come a long ways. We were just getting to the point where we were ready to start, showing it to the public. We, just on a whim, we submitted it to you guys, and we got in, and that was amazing. And so this will be the first time that really any large amount of people have seen the game. It's a pretty tight little kind of story. It's not like long, sprawling game. It's pretty quick. So we're kind of telling it as sort of a novella, I think. We are big fans of the adventure game genre, and I think we're thinking of this as an adventure game in VR. There's little puzzles. It's very immersive. We're definitely pushing for a story and character-driven experience. The cool thing is that VR, I think, takes all that to another level, and like you really feel immersed. You really feel like you're there. You can push and pull things with your, moving your whole body. You can reach under floors and corridors and reach through little ducts to grab whatever you need to find. We're definitely going for that adventure feel where everything you pick up can do something or is interactable and maybe can solve whatever little puzzle you're trying to solve. I think it's going to be really cool. So the demo is roughly, it's going to be a sort of a slice of what we have of our game, because we wanted to make sure everything was really gelling and feeling really good up until then. That's, I think, roughly a quarter of the game that we have now. So if people can get that far, that's great. Yeah, and this is our first game, so that's kind of crazy too. Yeah, so currently we are aiming to release the game in 2018. We still have to kind of figure out exactly when in 2018 that'll be, but we think it'll be probably sooner than later, because we really are pushing to just get this tight little experience out. We're not trying to make some huge, insane kind of sprawling story. The great thing that we're also aiming for is, like, if we can get this out as quick as we think we can, and people like it, maybe we can keep going. Maybe we tell further adventures in this world, which would be amazing. Yeah, we are very excited to premiere this at Day of the Devs. Believe me, this is going to be amazing.
Into the Breach. I've not seen anything on this before.
It has not been shown yet. Ooh. Another debut game. This is from the folks who made FTL.
Oh, man.
Yes. So it's definitely going to be amazing. And we actually have a live musical performance of the music from this game as well.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. My name is Justin Ma. I am one of the founders of Subset Games, the studio that made FTL Faster Than Light. Our newest game is called Into the Breach, and we'll be showing it off at Day of the Devs. It is a minimalistic strategy game, turn-based, small grid, giant mechs versus monsters, where the primary goal is to actually protect the city over trying to just defeat your enemy. One of the core elements of the game is the fact that you can see everything that the enemy is intending to do. And that gives you, the player, an opportunity to entirely respond to that in your turn. So the game ends up actually being more like a puzzle game, because you're given these small, minute little situations that you then have to resolve in the best way possible. And very often, that doesn't necessarily mean killing all the enemies. Usually it means mitigating as much damage to the city, sometimes sacrificing your own units and letting your pilots die, or losing resources because of the greater goal of protecting the city. Similar to FTL and in the sort of meta pacing of, like, you're going between these different islands, similar to Sectors, where you're fighting multiple battles in those islands, and you have a sort of persistent growth mechanic and persistent health mechanic that you have to manage between all these various fights. types of missions you encounter, the type of layout of the maps sort of shift the gameplay. It's not a pre-designed set demo experience. We kind of more just like, here's part of the game. Go try it out. There has been pressure, like a sort of general sophomore syndrome, but it isn't too much external. It's primarily internal, and so we've directly tried to fight that by just trying to embrace the original principles of when we were making FTL, which was just our goal is to make something that we ourselves want to enjoy. Our goal is not to top FTL or something like that. We just want to make a game that is interesting to us and compelling to us, and hoping that that will mean other people will enjoy it as well.
We are showing all these amazing games, and no games from us.
We do have some Double Fine Presents games.
Yes. Double Fine Presents.
That is our publishing label, and these are external developers who are doing amazing things. So we're going to be showing Gang Beasts. We'll have a tournament, probably on a giant wrestling ring.
Oh, with the referee shirts and the bell?
Yes, belts, exciting. Prizes for all. We're going to be showing off the new GNOG iOS build, which we'll be releasing around the time of the event. Very exciting. And the Ooblets musician Slime Girls is coming to do a live performance of their music as well.
I will bring them up.
And last but not least, we have Rex and Moo delivering a new Knights and Bikes demo.
Live?
Moo's going to be coming out with a brand new demo.
New Knights and new bikes.
Yeah, so we're going to call him. Check it out.
Hi, I'm Moo, and this is Rex, and we are Foam Sword. We're based in London, and we're a little micro studio, and we're working on a game called Knights and Bikes.
And Knights and Bikes is a hand-painted action-adventure game. It's set on a British island in the 1980s. It's got quite a kind of Goonies vibe, you know, if you like the sort of coming-of-age movies of that era. The game stars these two new friends called Nessa and Demelza, and they are tough but imaginative young girls, and they are exploring this island on their bikes. And these bikes are giving them like a newfound freedom. You know, they're able to like explore, charge around the island, looking for treasure, uncovering mysteries, just having a great time together. The demo is all set in a scrapyard. There's a lot of overlay of their own imagination over this environment. So they're using a bunch of different abilities as they cycle around inside this junkyard, just cause some havoc basically in their treasure search in there.
But I think the theme that we're really trying to capture is the idea of friendship. The friendship on screen, but also embracing friendships in real life. So you can play together with either with your virtual friend, which will be an AI-controlled character, or you can play with your real friends on the couch or via online co-op. So just sort of that idea of making games something that brings people together again, is something we really want to capture. We'll see how it goes, but it's been really interesting to see random people pair up and how they sort of learn to communicate. You know, like I think people always start off a little bit, you know, lukewarm with each other and distant, but as the game sort of demands they work together, they very quickly understand how to talk to each other and how to communicate what the roles of the characters are and what their roles in real life are.
Two great groups are coming to join us at Day of the Devs. There's Girls Make Games and Gameheads. Girls Make Games is a group that teaches game development to young girls and helps them collaborate and make a game together. And they crowdfund one of their games every year. And they're going to be showing a bunch of the final products of these games made by girls at Day of the Devs. And we look forward to seeing them there. Also, Gameheads. Gameheads is a group that works out of the East Bay, and we have been working with them as mentors. They work with young folks from underrepresented groups and help them make games together, and they're going to be showing some of their games at the show, too.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Oh, man, that's so many games.
So many games.
But that's actually not even like half of the games we're going to be showing at Day of the Devs.
We have so much other stuff. Yeah. It's going to be great. So it's this weekend, this Saturday, here in San Francisco.
And you can get there early if you buy the bundle. The bundle supports charity as well.
Extra Life.
Yeah. And so you can come early and check out the games before the mass of basically everyone in San Francisco and the surrounding areas will be there because it's super cool.
Check out more at dayofthedevs.com and hopefully we'll see you there.
See you there.
Now we talk to each other right on our fingers.
Good joke you made there about GNOG.